This is the NBC University Theater, bringing you a full-hour dramatization of the history of Henry Esmond, Esquire, by William Thackeray, starring Edmund O'Brien as Henry Esmond. Thackeray was a British novelist in the grand manner, a storyteller and high stylist of the mid-19th century. He worked in terms of fine ladies and gentlemen, and of rogues who weren't, but would that they were, of gracious manners and high intrigue in London ballrooms, and flashing duels midst old English trees. His Vanity Fair has been done often on radio, his Henry Esmond seldom, though it is generally considered his capital work. It's a fascinating historical tale, set in the time of Queen Anne, and related by its hero. Here, then, is Henry Esmond, portrayed today by one of Hollywood's most persuasive romantic leads, Mr. Edmund O'Brien.
It has always seemed to me that the muse of history encumbered herself with too much ceremony, busying herself only with the affairs of kings. Therefore, I, Henry Esmond, writing in the colony of Virginia in the year 1730, shall tell the events of this my history as they occurred, and in a manner familiar rather than heroic. My earliest clear memory, then, was of a village called Ealing, near London, where I lived in the house of a weaver, whose wife gave me many a beating, I knew not why. But when I was perhaps 8 years old, a great coach drew up one day before the weaver's house and carried me away.
He seems middling tall for his years, Father Holt. Did they treat you well in that house, Henry Esmond?
Well enough, sir. But I am called Henry Thomas.
No more, Henry. You are Henry Esmond now, and you must call the Viscount of Castlewood my lord.
Needs manners. But he'll get them soon enough when my lady has boxed his ears a few times.
Who is that, my lord?
Lady Isabel Esmond, boy. Viscountess of Castlewood.
Yeah, you're to live at Castlewood now, Henry. It is a very great house.
Ask him some questions, Father. See if there's anything in his head.
Can you read and write, boy?
Yes, sir.
Can you sing?
Oh, yes, sir. Almighty fortress is on...
We of the true church do not sing that song, Henry, but we will try to teach you a better one.
Indeed, sir, my lord. It was what they taught me. I meant no harm. I will try to learn whatever you tell me.
I present to your ladyship your kinsman and page, Master Henry Esmond. Make a bow, boy.
Yes, my lord.
So this is the child. You disgraced me by bringing him here, my lord.
Oh, gently, my dear, gently. The boy's not to blame for his birth.
Well, come and kiss my hand, boy. What are you staring at?
Why does my lady have all that red and white on her face?
Impudence.
That will earn you no kindness, Henry.
Take it away, my lord. Give it to Father Holt, and see that it learns to perform its duties, and holds its tongue.
It was a lonely life, those first years at Castlewood. My only friend was the good Father Holt, and to him I poured out all my childish heart, and gladly received those teachings, both scholarly and religious, which he gave me. But my friend was often away on strange business, dressed in strange clothes. It was on one such occasion, when I thought him away in London, that I awoke in the night, hearing a noise in his room, which was opposite to mine.
Who's there?
Silentium. 'Tis I, my boy.
Father, I thought...
Hush! Come in here quickly now you're awake. Needn't let this smoke all through the house.
I don't understand, Father.
Say nothing to anybody. Come, let us burn these papers. They have meaning to some they don't concern, and those gentlemen will be here soon enough.
Father Holt, is someone going to harm you?
Oh, I'll come back again in a few days. Is that the last of the papers, Harry?
Yes.
Stamp them out, then. It's a black day, Harry. A Dutchman mounts the throne of England now, and we who love the Stuarts will never rest until our good King James returns. Enough. You can't understand. I must be away before the port is stirring.
Won't he let you out, Father?
He doesn't know I'm here. Watch, and I'll show you a trick. See this barred window? You see? I touch the spring, and down it goes, bars and all. I'm in and out, and none the wiser. Go back to your room now, Harry, and forget that I have been here.
Indeed, James II was gone, and the Prince of Orange was King William of England. Father Holt returned by the front gate this time, but soon he and my lord were off in King James' service, and there were soldiers in the house.
Young man, tell your mistress we would speak to her.
My lady is ill abed.
Oh, indeed? And how long has she been so?
I don't know.
When did my lord go away?
Yesterday night.
With Father Holt?
With Mr. Holt.
Henry, is that the doctor?
Enough of this. Out of my way, boy.
Who is that? Ah! Leave this room, sir.
Madam, my duty is to arrest the person of Thomas Viscount Castlewood and of Henry Holt, a Jesuit priest. I am also to search the house, and I trust that you will help me in every way.
In my condition? La, what would you have me do, sir?
Begin by getting up. I must examine the bed.
Get away. Get away. Don't you dare to touch me.
Aha. I knew it. This pillow's full of papers. Now we'll see. Aha. What have we here? Yes, here's a list in Father Holt's handwriting, I believe. Gentlemen of the county friendly to King James. Letters from all of them. Here, what's this? A letter from Holt. Asks about young Henry Esmond. The Viscount's mistake, as he calls him. Well, this will serve Colonel Esmond's cause very well.
If you've quite finished, sir?
Not quite. I am sure that your ladyship can rise now and go as far as Hexton Castle. You are King William's prisoner.
I'll go. Consign me to a dungeon. Strike off my head. And with my dying breath I'll cry, God save King James!
You sent for me, Captain.
Yes, Henry. Tell me, did you ever see Colonel Francis Esmond?
Only once, sir.
Did he say anything to you?
He said something touching my birth, sir.
And did you love your father, my Lord Castlewood?
I'll wait until I know my mother before I can say, sir.
Henry, my lord has been killed fighting at the Boyne for King James.
I'm glad my lord fought for the right cause.
You can be glad he died on the field like a man and not on Tower Hill. But his cousin, Colonel Esmond, has the title now. You're in the hands of heaven and fate, boy. And Francis Esmond.
And this is the yellow gallery, milady. All the family portraits. Oh, you're here, are you?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this our little kinsman?
On your knees, boy.
No. What is your name, kinsman?
My name is Henry Esmond, milady.
His name is Henry Esmond, sure enough, milady. You'll notice the late Viscount's portrait there.
Oh, yes. You may go now. Young Henry can show me the rest of the house.
Yes, milady.
Don't be afraid, Henry, dear. This is still your home, and I want you to be happy in it.
Oh, thank you, milady. Thank you.
Well, Rachel, what do we hear?
This is our kinsman, Francis, young Henry Esmond.
So, this is the little priest, is it? Welcome, kinsman.
Thank you, my lord.
Papa, why is he on his knees?
Francis, the poor child has no one but us.
He shan't want for friends. Shall he, little Beatrix?
No, he shan't. And I shall give him a kiss.
I fear he's too old for you, my little one, as I am for your mamma.
You know I'd do anything to please you, Francis. I promise I'll grow older every day.
Don't call Papa Francis. You must call him my lord now.
What little tricks? Giving yourself airs already?
He shall sit beside me at supper.
I always eat with the housekeeper.
No more of that. Can't refuse a lady, you know, even if she's only 4 years old.
You'll eat with us, Henry. You're one of the family now.
And I'll wager you can call King James's health in as loud a voice as any man. Come along, my boy.
My lady, the new Viscountess, was herself a child, only 19 when she came to Castlewood, and her gentle graciousness won my heart. It was a happy household in which I grew from a child into young manhood. But alas, the lamp of love too seldom burns forever. By my 18th year, my lady was no longer mistress of her husband's heart.
She found out about that girl at Hexton, Harry. Me hanged to them, I told her. Keep care of women, Harry Esmond. When I married my lady, you could have pleased her with a sixpenny doll.
She was such a baby. And now, high-tea, high and mighty.
Oh, well, pass us the tankard. All women are jilts in their hearts, boy. Never see a woman as handsome as an old cinder-faced bedmaker. That's my counsel.
Beatrix, look. It's old Harry Esmond come home. And he's grown a mustache.
Harry!
Beatrix, how tall you've gotten.
Why not? You've been away 3 years, and I'm 13.
Harry, how's Cambridge?
Oh, fine, Frank.
But why don't you have a peruke, like my Lord Mohun?
My own hair will serve. Who's Lord Mohun?
He's a fine gentleman. He's been with us ever so long. But you know, I think Mamma doesn't like him.
Oh, that's enough of it, Rachel. He's my friend and he stays.
But there's something I don't trust about him, Francis. Harry, don't you see it?
Indeed, my lady, I only met the gentleman last night.
He rides a horse ever so well.
Rachel, I never liked man, woman, or beast, but what you were jealous of it.
My lord, I'm not jealous, but you're at cards every night until midnight. Our estate can't bear that extravagance.
Oh, poor Rachel, your ladyship doesn't know the world. I can handle my own affairs. Oh, shh, hush now. I hear moan coming.
Well, good evening, my lord. And lady, Mr. Esmond?
Your servant, my Lord Mohun.
And how is my beautiful Mistress Beatrix?
Indeed, my lord, I am well enough.
I think your child is not fond of me, Castlewood.
Little minx doesn't know a good fella. Beatrix, when thou'rt old enough, thou shalt marry Lord Mohun.
I shall not. Indeed, I think my lord would rather marry Mamma than me. He's waiting until you die to ask her.
Beatrix.
Beatrix, go to your room.
Indeed, I meant no wrong. But one night Mamma talked to my lord for ever so long, and sent us out of the room, too.
Get out of the room, you little viper.
Ask Lord Mohun what I said to him, Francis. Ask him.
Mamma, oh, dearest Mamma, what have I done?
Come away, Beatrix, come away.
Lord, I'm sure Lord Mohun can explain.
Explain?
I'll tell you what your wife said to me, Francis. She begged me to stop playing cards with you. You know whether or not that was for your good.
Oh. Of course, Mohun. Of course. You are a model of a man. Everyone knows what a saint you are with women.
I am no saint. But your wife is, and I can answer for my actions, as other people must for their words.
And you shall, my lord. Please to draw.
My lords, I beg of you to stop. You cannot doubt my lady's honor for the idle words of a child. In the name of heaven, my lords, this must not be. Lord Mohun, I would like a word with you.
Ah, you honor me, Mr. Esmond.
You claim it's a gouty foot that keeps you at Castlewood?
As you see, sir, I must wear this bandage.
I believe your foot would improve speedily, my lord, if you threw off the bandage and put on a boot.
You recommend boots, Mr. Esmond?
I do, and I'm sure your lordship would rather have claret than gruel at night, even if gruel keeps your head cool for the cards.
Stetzer, are you saying I don't play fair?
I'm saying you are cool while my lord is drunk.
You young scoundrel, no man can say I play false.
You play for awful stakes in my lord's house. You play for the honor of my family.
What do you mean, sir?
I mean your lordship has no more gout than I have. And I mean fairly that you'd better go away from Castlewood.
Well, Henry, what are your plans for these 2 days in London?
I bow to my lord's wishes, since you were kind enough to accompany me on my way back to Cambridge.
I have business of my own in London. With Mohun.
Mohun? Oh, I thought he'd gone to Paris.
He's come back at my invitation. We have accounts to settle.
Accounts? Oh, I pray you, sir.
Oh, 'tis the money I lost to him. £2,000. I scraped it up, and now it can be paid.
I'm sure you're deceiving me, my lord. I'm sure you have another quarrel, and I can tell you you're mistaken.
You've not been asked.
There's been nothing between Mohun and my lady, sir. She's as pure as an angel.
There'll be no question of my lady's honor. You quarrel about something else.
Sir, if you're determined, let me go with you. Or better, let me fight him for you.
By George, Harry, you're a good lad. I can fight my own quarrel.
But you will let me be there to see fair play?
Yes, lad. God bless you. You shall be there.
When's it to be, sir?
'Tis arranged thus. We shall go to supper at the Rose, where we shall meet Mohun. We'll call for cards, quarrel over the play. And then God help us. Either a wicked villain shall go out of the world, or a poor, worthless devil that doesn't want to remain in it. It's time, my boy. Let's be gone.
That hand is mine, Castlewood.
It is mine, but I'm not fairly warmed up yet.
I beg my Lord Mohun to let me try my hand at the play.
Oh, sure, you can't play these stakes, Esmond. You're too young.
Who dares to say it? Is your lordship afraid?
Afraid? Why, you young puppy.
Enough. Hold your tongue, Harry. Mohun, 10 crowns on the next play.
Done? But more wine first. Innkeeper! Innkeeper!
Aye, my lord.
Another tankard here.
I'm just bringing it, your lordship.
You can set it here. I'll move this candle.
The deuce take you, Mohun. You knocked over the candle. How damnably awkward you are.
Say you so. That's a damned awkward expression. Town gentlemen don't use those words.
I'm a country gentleman.
Indeed, your manners show it. Innkeeper, you heard that insult.
I did, your lordship, but I must ask you not to quarrel in my inn. You'll find the yard more convenient just through that door.
Once more, Castlewood. Will you recall your words?
I'm hanged if I do.
You heard him, Henry Esmond.
My lord, consider
I call God to witness. I gave you your chance.
Have it, you, Mohun.
My lord. Oh, my lord. Are you badly hurt?
I think I'm a dead man, Harry.
Oh, no. Oh, good, my lord. We shall send for the surgeons.
Oh, it's no use. I love thee, Harry. Thou'lt watch over my son.
Yes, my lord. That scoundrel Mohun has fled. Would I had killed him.
Forget him. Harry, my boy, I must make thee a confession.
Ah, poor lad.
I have wronged thee sorely.
Never, my lord. You've been all kindness to me.
A great, great wrong. It has weighed on my soul. Listen, Harry Esmond. Thou art the true Viscount of Castlewood.
My lord is delirious.
Oh, not so. Your mother was a poor country lass, and Thomas, your father, met her in Belgium and married her when she was with child. Thou knowest that Isabel Esmond carried the title from her father. Thomas left his wife to marry her. But thou wert his true heir.
My lord, is this true?
True as I hope to see heaven.
My dearest lord, I want it not.
'Tis yours, Harry.
No one shall know. I will not bring shame on my lady or rob an innocent boy. Your son is Viscount of Castlewood.
Henry? Oh, Henry. God bless you, my dearest boy.
My lord. Oh, my lord. And my poor lady. A curse upon this evil night.
Lady to see you, Esmond.
This is where I see you, Henry Esmond. To this you have brought me.
My dearest lady, do not reproach me. My grief is enough as it is.
Would they could send men to prison before a duel, not after it.
My lady, I tried my utmost to prevent him.
You stood by at midnight and saw him murdered. You, that he loved and trusted. My husband lies in his blood, murdered for defending me. My good, generous lord. And you, Henry Esmond, you were there, and you let him die. Welcome to Chelsea, Henry Esmond. You have grown tall.
It's been 10 years, Viscountess. It is most kind of you to take me into your house now.
Well, since Francis' widow has turned you out, someone must see to you. You may salute my hand, cousin.
Nephew, at least, madam.
Eh? What mean you, Harry?
A great wrong has been done, my lady, to you, to me, and to my poor dead mother.
So Castlewood told you before he died. Before heaven, Harry, I was guiltless. It was your wicked father
who brought dishonor on our family. I know it well. But I shall disturb nothing, madam. I mean never to speak of this matter again.
Well, you're a noble fellow, Harry.
I won't quarrel over a title with those for whom I would give my life away. What matters who has it?
You're doing it for that little prude of a Rachel. What is there about that woman? And Mohun killed Francis over her, I know it. Tell me, was there anything between them?
My lady's virtue is like a saint's in heaven.
There are a good many saints in heaven with a deal to repent of, Harry. Are you still of the true church?
I have taken of the Church of England, madam.
For Rachel, I vow. At least, she hasn't turned you against the king.
No, madam, no one will ever turn our family against the Stuart cause.
Harry, my husband died for King James II, and I ask only one thing before I die. That I may see King James III brought back from exile and drink his health.
Queen Anne may live a long time.
And do you think Anne is ruling the nation?
Is she not?
Not she. 'Tis her favourite, that fury of a Sarah Churchill, Duchess of Marlborough. It's enough to give one a headache.
She's a cousin of my Lady Viscountess, I believe.
Oh, yes, she's been kind to Rachel. Beatrix is to be taken into court. My Lady Duchess can afford to be generous.
What mean you?
La, have you not heard? Marlborough's to be general of all the armies.
Oh?
By George, Harry Esmond, that's what we'll do with you. We'll buy you a commission. As long as you're in the family, boy, you might as well make a name for yourself.
And so I went with my Lord Marlborough's forces against the French king. And by the time I had seen Cadiz and had one ship go down under me, I had forgot my loneliness and my melancholy, and the pleasure of new experience. And I was a soldier and a man. It was a year before I saw England again. At once I sought out my dear lady at her house at Walcott, where she'd retired after my lord's death. I hoped that time had quieted her anger, and I was not disappointed.
It was kind of you to come back to us, Henry. I thought you might come.
You had only to ask, my lady, and you knew I would be here.
Dearest old Harry, and you've been to the wars. You'll take me next time, won't you?
You're scarce tall enough, Frank, even if you are my Lord Viscount now.
Nonsense. I can't wait to be away. I tell you, I'm going with the next campaign. So's Blandford. If he can tear himself away from Beatrix.
Blandford? Marlborough's son?
He has a lock of her hair. And the Duchess caught him on his knees to her and boxed his ears.
Shh, Frank. There is talk, Henry, but they're both children. And Sarah Marlborough would never allow it.
Well, Trix must be a fine lady.
See for yourself, cousin.
And this was the child I used to carry on my back?
Oh, you mayn't carry me now. I'm grown too big. You mayn't kiss me either. But I'm glad you've come.
Drop him a curtsy, Trix. Show the new red stockings.
Hush, you silly child. Harry, stop looking at me and look at Mamma. Isn't she lovely?
Oh, I'm an old woman, dear. I can't hope to look as you do.
Pooh, Trix'll never look as good as you do. If she lived to be 100.
Is that true, Cousin Harry?
No, I'm no better than your mirror, my dear. That can't flatter you.
Nonsense. You're a fine fellow. All that scarlet and silver. And where did you get that neck piece?
Some of my Lady Isabel's lace. She gave it to me.
Lady Isabel isn't such a bad woman.
She's not so red as she's painted.
I'll tell her you said so, Trix.
She'll know you hadn't the wit to say it, my lord.
Children. We won't quarrel the first day Harry's home.
Come in.
Henry, what are you doing?
Packing, my lady.
So soon? But you've been here only 3 days.
It's best that I go.
I knew you were going. You're leaving because of Beatrix, aren't you?
My lady, I am a poor fellow with no right to my name.
And you've fallen in love with my daughter.
And your daughter is a princess.
In beauty? Yes. But you're right. It is better that you go.
As I have said.
Not because of you. Because of Beatrix. She has a headstrong will and a jealous temper. And no prayers of mine will cure them. Go away, my son. And think kindly of us. My daughter will make no man happy who loves her.
From Hollywood, the NBC University Theater is bringing you Edmund O'Brien in a radio version of Henry Esmond by William Thackeray. This play is part of a series devoted to the classic novels of Anglo-American literature. If you're interested in supplementing your enjoyment of these productions with home study under college supervision, be sure to listen to the announcement at the close of this program. And now, our intermission commentator, Mr. J. Donald Adams, noted critic and author of the Speaking of Books column in the New York Times. Speaking from New York, here is J. Donald Adams.
You and I live in a period when the historical novel, popular though it is, has fallen into critical disrepute. We have seen just a few too many high-bosomed hussies flaunting their charms on the jackets of books which were written to a cheap formula. But it's good to remember that some of the finest products of the novelist's art have been in the field of historical romance and historical realism. Perhaps the most notable example of the first is the novel which is being dramatized for you today, just as Tolstoy's War and Peace stands foremost in the second. Although Henry Esmond is definitely a romantic story, we cannot overlook the fact that it was written by a man who was also a realist, by a writer who, as he watched the human comedy, was ever conscious of the vanity of human wishes. Looking at the snobs, the rascals, the phonies, and the gentle and the good who made up his world, even as they make up ours, his mind played over them with a caustic and satirical wit, while at the same time his heart filled with compassion. Henry Esmond is not only a great story, written with superb craftsmanship, it is also one of the most remarkable tours de force in any literature. Here we have an author, writing in the middle of the 19th century, so immersing himself in the manners and the speech of a century and a half earlier that we seem, as we read his book, actually to be living in the reign of Queen Anne. He told his story to the last intonation, precisely as a man of the early 18th century would have done. Another great Victorian, Anthony Trollope, once told Thackeray that Esmond was far and away his best book, and Thackeray answered, "That was what I intended, but I failed. Nobody reads it, and after all, Edmund was a prig." But we, reading the book now, say, yes, Edmund was a bit of a prig, but he was also a gentleman in the finest sense of the word, and no specimen of that nearly extinct species was ever more skillfully drawn. But Esmond's story is also that of Beatrix. Now, when Thackeray drew a good woman, like poor Amelia of Vanity Fair, he made her a milksop. Becky Sharp and Beatrix are both hard as nails, but they are two of the most vital women in fiction. Never did he succeed in drawing a woman of spirit whom we could wholeheartedly admire. Unlike most novelists, he dealt more kindly with his own sex. Be that as it may, he knew life, and his picture of it lives.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Our dramatization continues from Hollywood after a brief pause for station identification.
After my visit to Castlewood, I went back to the wars. Donowit, Blenheim, Ramillies. Under Marlborough, I saw them all. Surely history has told enough of the greatest general and the wickedest man the world has ever seen. Fire and sword, pillage and plunder, death and destruction. The stately muse that sings the valor of heroes has never yet spoken a word of their true employment, which is murder. And the pretty maidens who tumble at the call of fife and drum to kiss the homecoming victors have no thought of the work of the batteries, which is vomiting flame and death. It was after Ramillies, the famous 23rd of May, 1706, that I had first-hand news of those who were ever in my thoughts.
Harry! Harry Esmond!
Who called?
Harry, here in the guardroom.
Frank, my boy.
Good old Esmond. Here, sit down. Bring a tankard there for my friend, Captain Esmond.
Frank, so you've really come for a soldier.
Yes. Just look at the medal I got off a dead musketeer today.
Huh?
I'm in His Grace's suite, you know.
Marlborough's?
His wife, the Duchess, is pleased to be fond of me. And His Grace has given me leave to go home for the winter. You'll come too, won't you?
Why, Frank, what is there for me in England?
Well, you could see Mother. And Trix. Oh, Trix is a wonder, Harry.
I can believe that.
The toast of London. I can't make her out, though. She cares for nobody but herself. She threw over a young baron for an old earl, and then traded him for a duke.
She'll never have eyes for a poor cat.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't marry her, even if her eyes were twice as big. But do come to London.
No, Frank, no. You go and have your fill of hijinks. Brussels will do for me. So I passed the winter with my regiment in Flanders and saw all the famous sights of that neighborhood. But being one day in the church of Saint Gudule, I found myself less interested in the architecture than in the face of a Prussian officer who was kneeling at a side altar.
In Dominum est omnis inter...
My father.
What? I do not understand. My English is not good.
I should know Father Holt in any garment.
Hush! I am Captain von Holtz, in the service of the Bavarian Elector.
Well, Captain von Holtz, your very humble servant.
I've kept track of you, Harry Esmond. You changed your coat too, I hear.
Well, I tried to believe in saints and miracles once. You almost had me persuaded. But I cannot, and that's that. What have you been up to, my father, these many years?
Will you have done with that name? Do you want me hanged? I've told you. I'm in the service of His Electoral Highness, negotiating exchange of prisoners with His Highness of Savoy.
That's for the world to know. And for me?
Well, Esmond, my business is between the King at Saint-Germain and his loyal subjects here in the army.
There are many of us, I know.
Enough, Esmond, that when Queen Anne dies, we can hope to keep the throne away from that Protestant fool, the Elector of Hanover.
Then I shall hope to see your eminence out of jackboots and into red stockings at Whitehall.
You're always with us, I know that. So was the late Lord. And so is the young Viscount.
And so is my father before me.
I knew you'd touch on that subject. I've been in touch with the old Viscountess. I admire your sacrifice, Henry.
Father, can you tell me anything about my mother?
I can do better. She was of this very town. Come with me, my son. I will show you her grave. It was in this convent that she died. The superior remembers her still.
Sister Mary Madeleine.
Yes.
How many poor creatures have taken that name?
You may thank God that her sorrows are long past.
Long past. Mother, requiescat in pace. "3 years passed. Oudenarde and the siege of Lille and the horrible battle of Malplaquet were over. And England being weary at last of carnage, the Great War was coming to a close. I was a colonel now. Furthermore, the good old dowager, Lady Isabel of Chelsea, had quitted this world and left me all her possessions. And having thus some position and a little money, I returned at last to England, with renewed hopes of finding favor with Beatrix. But I was too late.
Can you not be glad for me, cousin? Lord Hamilton is the finest gentleman in England.
Yes, Beatrix, yes, I am glad.
I hope you'll be a good wife to Hamilton, Beatrix. I'm afraid for you.
You needn't be, Mother. His lordship wants my beauty. I want his name. We shall both be contented.
Beatrix, Beatrix.
I'll be Lady Hamilton, and I'll be the finest lady in the land.
How fine you look, Beatrix.
Does she not, Harry?
My lord is coming from London. I must look my best. Like my shoes.
They grace the prettiest foot in the world. Now, I have something for you. A wedding gift.
Oh, Harry, what is it?
My father's widow left them to me. They are good enough for a duchess, though not for you.
Diamonds. Oh, Mother, look. Harry, put them on me.
I'm not much of a hand with necklaces.
Oh, here, I'll do it. Thank you, cousin. Thank you 1,000 times. Oh, I could kiss you.
Pray, do.
His Grace, the Duke of Hamilton.
Well, this is a nice family scene.
Look, my Lord Duke.
Diamonds. Very pretty.
They're a present on my marriage.
From the Queen? Her Majesty is very good.
From my cousin Henry.
I have not the honour of knowing the gentleman. Lord Castlewood had no brothers.
My cousin Colonel Henry Esmond, my lord.
Then I pray you restore them. The Duchess of Hamilton receives no diamonds, but from her husband.
Beatrix may receive a gift from our kinsman and benefactor, my Lord Duke.
Kinsman and benefactor? I know of no kinsman, and my wife shall not have for a benefactor.
My lord!
I'm not here to bandy words. The Duchess of Hamilton receives no presents from gentlemen who bear a name they have no right to.
The name is as old and honourable as your grace is, and Henry Esmond has the best right to it of any man in the world.
Indeed, madam.
He has been the truest of benefactors. He tried to save my husband's life from Mohun's sword. Is that no benefit?
I ask the colonel's pardon, but I repeat, my wife receives no presents from him.
Enough, my lady, if his grace does not wish to have me.
It is not enough. My daughter may receive presents from the man to whom we owe everything in the world. 'Tis we who have no right to our name, for our title is his.
My lady, who has told you this?
Henry, dearest Henry. Lady Isabel told me before she died.
Mother, what is this?
My Lord Duke, Henry Esmond gave up his name at my dying husband's side. Gave it up for my children.
It's a family secret, my lord, but I have a perfect right to resign my title.
I should have told your grace everything in private this very day.
I humbly ask your lordship's pardon.
There is no need, your grace.
I spoke in ignorance. Pleased to command any service I can perform. And I shall esteem it as a favor if my lord will give away the bride.
And I should esteem it as a favor if he will take the usual payment in advance.
My dearest Beatrix.
Henry, why didn't I know you before? I would have loved you so.
And so the proud and beautiful Beatrix made ready to be a duchess, the one position in the world she was perhaps best suited to fill. But the poor girl's ambition came once again to naught. For in a paltry quarrel over a piece of land, the evil Lord Mohun, who had killed my dear Viscount, perished, but not before bringing to his death James Douglas, Lord Hamilton, the greatest peer of the realm.
You had best take these with you when you leave, Henry. I have no need of diamonds any more.
Beatrix, will you wear these at your marriage after all? You said you had not known me. You know me now, what I have forgone for 10 years.
Fie, cousin. A price for your constancy.
Beatrix, listen. I have a plan.
Plan for what?
Never mind. But if I do something you dearly wish, something that shall make me a name to give you, will you take it?
I cannot say.
Hear me a year hence. If I do what you desire most, will it not win your heart?
What is it, Henry? What mean you?
Ask no question. But if I bring back what you long for, what I have 1,000 times heard you pray for, will you not reward me?
Henry, if I understand you, may God speed your mission.
Put away the diamonds. I swear a day shall come when there shall be a feast in your house, and you shall wear them with pride.
It's a daring scheme, Harry.
Now, don't let your hopes run too high until we reach Paris, Frank. They may not even agree.
Oh, they must agree. Why, it's the one great chance. Listen, I know he and I are of the same age, but what about the rest?
I've heard it said you're of the same height and coloring.
Mother's been begging me these 5 years to come back to England. Now she can be glad I wasn't there.
That's our hope, but no one has seen you in so long. We've given it out in London that you're coming home in poor health and must live very quietly. How is your health, Frank, my boy?
Never better, my dear Esmond.
And the fortifications you were studying all these years in Flanders?
The fort fell.
Ah.
I marched in with flying colours and out again, may I say?
Young scoundrel, I'm only afraid that he whom you resemble may resemble you too much.
What mean you?
You've been drinking and chasing wenches all over Flanders, and they say he's been doing the same in France.
Well, it is his right. Is he not the king?
A king should have more kingly pursuits.
He shall have them when we bring him home to England. To England, Esmond. St. George and King James for England.
Quiet. Will you tell all to the coachman if this gets out?
Oh, have no fear on my account. Tell me, is Queen Anne really ill?
Her Majesty has scarce left her chamber in a month. She may die at any time.
And when we've brought her own brother to her side, why, can she help but name him her successor?
The Elector of Hanover has strong friends, my boy.
But ours are stronger. Esmond, I tell you, it cannot fail.
Has there been any word?
They will be here within the hour.
Is all well?
All is well. The king travels as Viscount Castlewood and Frank as his servant.
I had rather received His Majesty at Castlewood.
No, we must keep him in London. It won't do to have him too far from the palace. Where's Beatrix?
Still dressing. I've never seen her so happy. Oh, Harry, if only my husband and your father and all our brave kinsmen could have lived to see this day.
So many brave souls, so many battles, all for this boy.
They can rest now. All England will be at his feet, and at yours.
It may be so.
Look where my girl comes.
Do the diamonds become me, Cousin Harry?
They are outshone, I think.
Your prophecy has come true, cousin. The day has come when I can wear them with pride. And you, Harry, you have brought it to pass.
The Viscountess Castlewood.
He is here.
Henry, I am faint.
Calmly, dear one, show nothing.
Madam, my dearest mother, it gives me much joy to be in your house.
Welcome, my son. 1,000 times welcome. Welcome home to England.
Aha! A good dinner and good wine.
Your Majesty is kind to praise our house.
There is not a finer in all my kingdom.
I beg your Majesty to lower your voice. The servants will hear.
Oh, pest on you, Esmond. Oh, Dieu, I will not look upon your frowns when I can observe the smiles of the Lady Beatrix.
Your Majesty honors me.
Oh, not at all. Tell me, when I am king, what will your ladyship be, huh? You have only to name your place.
I will be your most loyal subject. And long live His Majesty, King James III.
Oh, Beatrix, do not kneel to me. With such beauty, it is rather my place to kneel to you.
I don't know what to make of him, Harry. He's not like a king.
You've seen it, too?
He doesn't seem to realize what stakes we're playing for. Do you know, on our way here, he wanted to stop at Canterbury to run after a barmaid.
I wonder, Frank, whom I have served in bringing him here.
It's hard on Mother. For generations, we've given everything for the divine Stuarts. But this Stuart is only a man, and not a good one.
I'm anxious for a reason closer to home.
Beatrix?
Yes.
The way he looks at her, and she at him. No good can come of it. You're older than I am, Harry, and wiser and better. And you've done this. But I wish the end of it were come.
Why are you all looking so solemn? Is this a family conclave?
It's time for one, Beatrix.
Now that we have you a moment away from the king.
What has His Majesty to do with it?
I do not say you are too free with him, dear.
Thank you, madam.
But I might say so if I could speak such words to your father's daughter.
Eh? Mon père was no better than other people's fathers.
You weren't speaking French a month ago, or speaking ill of your father either.
I've enough of your sermons, Henry. I learned French to honor the king.
And did you learn in your mother's presence, or with him alone?
How dare you? You insult me.
You have asked to be insulted, Beatrix.
Beatrix, His Majesty is here for a great purpose. He has no time for folly, and you are better off in the country.
So, that's it. You three, you have judged me.
We're protecting you, dear.
Did I bring him here? Didn't I do as you told me in making him welcome?
I would take temptation out of the prince's way, Beatrix.
That's all I am, is it?
You don't expect to marry him, do you? He's got to marry a princess, and you know it.
Beatrix, he can only insult you and your family.
Let us go to Castlewood, Beatrix. You and I. It will be better, dear.
Very well. We will go tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Today. I've ordered the coach for 1 o'clock.
No. No. I won't be dragged around like a prisoner. Since you can't trust me, I'll leave you, but I'll go alone.
Beatrix left us, and His Majesty, from whom we concealed her hiding place, was furious at her absence. But we were too occupied with plans for his kingdom to have a care for his anger. Never was a greater company of noble gentlemen embarked on a higher and more daring venture. And on that fateful day of July 30th, 1714, everything was in readiness.
Colonel Esmond.
Dr. Atterbury, how does your royal patient?
Esmond, now or never is the time. My Lord Castlewood, where is His Majesty?
I haven't seen him all day. He sleeps, I believe.
Go and tell him to be ready at once.
Yes.
Esmond, it is the hour. The Queen is very low. 50 of the nobles who follow the King are assembled at the Greyhound. Let him come now and present himself with their strength behind him, and we carry the day.
Harry, he's gone.
You're mad, boy. If we lose an hour, we lose a kingdom.
He's gone, I tell you. I found this paper. Beatrix got a message to him from Castlewood. He's gone to her. Harry, pray God she's safe.
He must have left London at dawn. He had 8 hours start of us, but we'll soon see. Come on.
Harry, where the devil are you going? This isn't the gate.
You don't think the porter will let us in, do you? He thinks Lord Castlewood's already inside.
Well, then what are you going to do?
Help me here. Oh, this ivy's grown thick.
But it's a barred window. We can't get through there.
We can. If I've remembered the right window after 25 years. Now, yes, where's that spring?
By George! The whole window slid down, bars and all.
It's a trick I learned from an old Jesuit master. Come on, climb through, quickly.
Killer! Harry, he's here. He's sleeping in this room.
Then all may be well.
Who is there, I say?
It is the Viscount Castlewood, come to welcome His Majesty to his house.
Esmond? What do you do here?
I wish to report on happenings in London. The opportunity has come and passed, which may not come again.
Death? No, it cannot be true.
It is true. Had His Majesty not chosen to ride to Castlewood, he might have slept at St. James.
I talked to the doctor yesterday. He told me that I might not hope to see the Queen.
It has happened otherwise, and the Queen may be dead by now. Everything was ready. There was only one person who failed us, Your Majesty's gracious...
Monsieur, you give me too much majesty.
We shall take care not to offend that way again.
What mean you, my lord? Why have you put me in this snare?
It was not our snare. We did not invite you here. We come to avenge our family's dishonor, not to bring it about.
On the honor of a gentleman. No, my lord.
No harm has been done, Frank. You see? Here on the table. His Majesty has begun some verses. Had the gracious lover been happy, he'd have passed no time in scribbling.
What would you with me, gentlemen?
I am here to tell you, you will please to remember that our family has ruined itself in devotion to yours. That my father and my grandfather died for the Stuart cause. I renounce that cause. Here is my sword. I break it and deny you. And before heaven, had you completed the wrong you designed for us, I would have driven it through your heart.
And I am with him. You're no king, but you might have ruled if you hadn't come running after Beatrix.
And so, gentlemen, I have lost a crown. I have lost the loveliest woman in the world. But worst is to lose the loyalty of such hearts as yours. Oh, my friends, no. I can never recover your friendship, but I beg of you one embrace of forgiveness.
It is granted, Your Highness.
And so, no more majesty, huh?
And why no majesty?
Beatrix.
Charming lady, these lords have come a horseback from London. My sister is very ill, and her successor makes himself desired. I trust you will pardon my escapade of last evening, and lend us your coach.
You have done this to me, Henry Esmond. You have ruined my last opportunity. And there is nothing in store for Beatrix Esmond but shame. If I did not love you before, cousin, only think how I love you now.
We have made good time.
Good time, Esmond. It has seemed like a journey of 3 nights, not one.
We're nearly at the palace.
But why are we slowing? Tell the coachman to whip the horses.
There's a great crowd around the gate. We shall never get past them.
But we must. What is there?
Horse guards and a herald.
God save His Majesty. By the grace of God of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, King, Defender of the Faith, God save King George!
With the sound of the trumpets of George I, all the vain hopes of the young pretender were blown away. And in that night vanished also all my desire to possess the wicked heart of that beautiful woman whose honor I had seen could be bought by the glance of a prince's eye. Ever after she held all of us, her family, as enemies, and followed James to France, to what a fate I disdain to tell. As for me, I turn to the heart which has ever shown me such loving tenderness. With my dear Rachel as my wife, I came here to Virginia, where we have built a new Castlewood, and in the autumn of our lives are grateful for the sweet sunshine and peace of our new home.
You have been listening to Henry Esmond, an NBC University Theater production of the William Thackeray novel, starring Edmund O'Brien in the title role. Next week at the same time, we will bring you another classic of Anglo-American literature, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. The present semester of the NBC University Theater is devoted to the classics of Anglo-American literature from the time of Henry Fielding to that of Henry James. If you wish, you may learn more about these authors and their works by enrolling in the college-supervised courses now being offered in connection with the NBC University Theater. The University of Tulsa in Oklahoma, Washington State College, and Kansas State Teachers College have now completed their plans for offering such a course in the coming months, thus joining the University of Louisville, whose established home study plan is already serving listeners in another area of the nation. For information, then, as to how you may enhance your knowledge through these courses, write to the NBC University Theater, in care of the University of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, Washington State College, Pullman, Washington, the University of Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Kansas State Teachers College, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Henry Esmond was adapted for radio by Clarence A. Ross. Our intermission commentator was J. Donald Adams. Starred as Henry Esmond, Edmund O'Brien, who appeared through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, producers of the Michael Curtiz Technicolor production, My Dream Is Yours, starring Jack Carson and Doris Day. Our cast included Crawford Kent, Pat Ahern, John Ramsey Hill, Doris Lloyd, Queenie Leonard, Ramsey Hill, Marlene Ames, Jerry Farber, Whitfield Connor, June Jeffrey, Terry Kilburn, Grace Stafford, Ben Wright, Donald Morrison. Your announcer, Don Stanley. The original musical score was composed and conducted by Dr. Albert Harris. The director of the NBC University Theater is Andrew C. Love. Next week, be with us again for the NBC University Theater dramatization of Charlotte Bronte's exciting novel, Jane Eyre, starring Deborah Carr. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.